Here we have a SAT math problem. Okay, let's go to the question. F of x equals to a times x infinity to the whole square positive k. In the function above, a, b, and k are constants. If a and k are negative numbers, which of the following cannot be true? Actually, here we have a quadratic function in vertex form, and the graph of this quadratic function will be a vertical parabola. Okay, and also here we have some information about the values of the constants a and k. So a and k both are negative numbers. Actually, a is the leading coefficient and k is the y-coordinate of the vertex. Since the leading coefficient a is a negative number, the parabola we get for this quadratic function must go up and down. And also, since the y-coordinate of the vertex, so that is k is a negative number, so the parabola must be below the x-axis. Okay, now let me draw the x-axis over here. The horizontal line I have drawn over here represents x-axis, and the parabola has to up and down. So because the leading coefficient over here a is negative, and also the parabola must be below the x-axis because the y-coordinate k over here is negative. So this is the vertex of the parabola. Since the parabola is below the x-axis, if I consider any point on the parabola over here, the y-coordinate will be negative. Because if I consider any point below the x-axis, in all the points the y-coordinate will be negative. And in the given function, this f of x represents the y-coordinate. And when I go over the answer choices, let's consider the first answer choice A. We have f of y. F of y means that this is the value of y when x equals to 5. So the same thing we can consider in other answer choices. So that is this f of 1 represents the value of y when x equals to 1. Okay, as we have discussed over here, that is at each point of the parabola, the y-coordinate has to be negative. So here, this one is the value of y when x equals to 5. Anyways, so the value of y over here is negative. So this one has to be true. The stuff we have an answer choice has to be true. But we have to find the one which cannot be true. Since it has to be true, since the value of y is negative, we can reject answer choice A. And okay, here in answer choice B, we have the value of y when x equals to 1. Okay, here it doesn't matter what value we have for x. So we have to consider the value of y. So here the value of y is k. Already we know that k is a negative number. Since the value of y over here is a negative number, so this one also can be true. So we can reject this one as well. Okay, now let's go to answer choice C. Here we have the value of y and the value of y is b. Okay, in the given information, we don't have any information about the value of the constant b, whether it is positive or negative. So this one can be true if b is negative, because the value of y will be negative. In case if b is positive, then this one cannot be true. Since we don't have any information about the value of b, we cannot decide whether this one can be true or cannot be true. So we can reject this one as well. Okay, here the value of y when x equals to 3. So that is the value of y is positive, that is positive 1. Since the value of y is positive 1, it's not possible because at any point in the parabola, the value of y-coordinate has to be negative. So this one cannot be true. The correct answer choice for this question is option D.